guys, welcome to this week's episode of FF Uncensored.
We're going to talk about a piggy today. And so if you want to learn about the Diet Piggy, then this is going to be the episode that you want to listen to. Ashley passed this along to me a little bit like right before this call, and I'm like, yes, we need to talk about this.
Can you see it?
So yes, it's up now.
Yes.
So this is called the Diet Piggy. And let's just read a little bit of the description, and then we're going to unpack this a little bit. Are you trying to lose a few pounds this year, or maybe you just cut down on the snacks? Do you often find yourself in the kitchen having to look in the fridge or the cupboards for a snack? The best way to stay out of the kitchen is to keep yourself busy. Get a loyal friend on board to help you shift those pounds. The Diet Piggy, put it in your fridge or somewhere else you keep your sweet treats. Whenever you open the door, he will greet you with a loud oink oink. This sound will remind you that you start to resemble a pig if you have this piece of French cheese from the fridge. A simple yet effective way to ruin your appetite. The Diet Piggy is operated by a light sensor.
Okay. I think I'm going to stop my share. And give me 1 second. I'm going to let the dog in, but you can start your...
The Diet Piggy. So this is a very interesting device. And I think it's humorous. It's very humorous. But if we looked at this on what it is, let's talk about that first. And then, is this the most effective way to do it? So I would call this probably like a shaming device. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't worry. I think it's freaking hysterical. Like, I contemplated buying one and putting it in the bathroom. So when Zach goes in there and the light turns on, it oinks. Like, I just thought it would be funny to... Okay.
So it's entertaining, but would this be an effective long-term technique? And we'll talk about that in a second. But I want to talk about like what it is first, because the thing doesn't matter. So ultimately, this is just it's an awareness. It's a trigger, right? You go to do something that you're maybe mindlessly doing, right? Oh, I'm hungry. I'm just wandering around. I open it up. Cool. I see Piggy. It oinks at me. Awesome. That's your trigger to be like, pause and like, is this something I actually should be doing or I want to be doing? Is this going to support my goals? Yada, yada, yada. Right. And so does it need to be a piggy that oinks at you? Probably not, unless you respond well to that type of farm animals or shaming or things like that. But from a long-term perspective, I don't know. Shaming is really effective, but not necessarily in a long-term psychological sense. So are there better ways to do it? Probably. But if we look at like the foundational principles of having something that it gives you a trigger to pause, to reflect, to see, is this something I want to continue with? Right. And now it makes it a conscious decision versus a mindless decision. And so I think that's what the value is. I would probably suggest this to a client because I think it could create some psychological.
Oh, so the reason I saw it is there's this guy on my stories on Facebook stories or something, and he literally like comments on other people treating people not great in the health and wellness industry. And I think it's really great, but I think he shared this video of someone having this thing in here, and he was talking about like psychologically what it does to someone to make them feel that way when they're doing it. So like, while I think it's a funny gag gift, and I think like it's funny to buy your friend that's always on the diet and that kind of stuff, I don't think it's actually, one, very helpful, or two, is going to make anybody really get results and feel good about themselves. Like, it really is just like, hey, you're doing something wrong and I'm going to oink at you. Like, could you imagine if like, maybe it wasn't the pig in the fridge, but can you imagine if you open your fridge and your spouse oinked at you every time you did it? Like, I would be livid. Like, I would not be responding well to this. Like, I'd be like, not good.
Yeah. And so I think there's value in awareness. And if someone has a lot of issues with mindless snacking, with this or that, like there's ways that we can, if someone feels like that's hampering their ability to succeed, right? Or it's an obstacle for their success, we can look at removal, right? If you're constantly just snacking on stuff, if you don't have it there, that makes it really easy, right? Then I don't have to make a decision, yep. Right? The other one is some sort of like trigger or making it a little bit more inconvenient. We've done this with clients before that maybe aren't ready to get it out of their house, but instead of having it in their main fridge, they put it in their garage fridge, or they put it in their basement fridge, or they put it somewhere where it's like a very conscious decision. Like, I'm going down there and then I'm doing it. And if they feel like that still isn't enough, then removal typically is the best. Um,
Um, I will add a couple more into that. Portion controlled snacks is another one. Like
hmm,
if you say chips are your thing, because chips are my thing, you buy the mini bags of chips, like the single serving bags of chips, and you eat the bag of chips. But there's also some guidelines, like you eat them sitting down at a table, you eat them one piece at a time. Like there's other things you can do to slow down to actually enjoy it. So like Trevor has talked before so many times about him buying or opening his freezer, grabbing a piece of chocolate, shoving it in his mouth, walking out the door, and walking back in and opening up the freezer and again
hmm,
another one because he didn't enjoy it. So like there is some like you wanted this food, like it's not bad to have them, but like maybe how we're having them is actually what's like not good for us. Like
yeah.
have the thing that you're going to enjoy, but like actually enjoy and indulge in it. Like no one eats a fancy steak standing at their kitchen counter. Like treat all of your meals like you're having something that is truly worth putting into your body, whether that's something for enjoyment or something that you like or want to have. Treating the stuff that you're putting in like something that you actually want to have and not something like you're going to eat in the pantry so no one sees you. I mean, like I understand if you have kids and you're like hiding in your pantry to have a snack with no one there bothering you, like cool, but like are you really trying, like are you trying to do that in hiding where like really you can have it and enjoy the things that you enjoy in life? It's just how many of those things that you enjoy are like impacting your goals in other parts too.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing with the diet piggy is it's a shaming process, right? So it's like what you're doing is bad, right? And so that can like just cause some long-term repercussions where we never really want to think about food as good or bad, right? There are certain things that are going to help us move closer to goals, right? And there's certain things that may not, right? But you've all seen like even like let's call it like a weight loss standpoint, like you've seen people lose weight on like fast
Twinkies.
food, Twinkies, like, and so it's not inherently the food, it's the calorie intake, whether or not that's healthy long term, right? And like we could get into that, but like most people know that probably eating Twinkies, only Twinkies for the entirety of their life, they're probably not going to be a very healthy person, right? And so getting away from this food is good or bad type of mindset can help kind of release some of the changes I think that food can have on people sometimes, and getting more into like the appropriate portions that support the things that I'm going to do. And having things that are quote unquote, they don't necessarily fit is a part of long term success, right? Someone being very strict for long periods of time doesn't go well. And so having a level of flexibility, right? Not getting too flexible where it's like, every you're able to chalk it up to this thing or that thing, and like and you're not making progress, right? And so it's all looking at this like, am I moving in the direction I want to go? Cool. And then is this a sustainable lifestyle? Awesome. It may mean that I crank it up, right, for a period of time because I want to accelerate progress. Awesome. That's awesome. But this idea of like good bad, you're bad if you eat these foods is not a
Well, and
good
what I
long-term
find is really
strategy.
interesting, everyone has different foods that they've deemed bad.
Mm-hmm.
So what is a bad
Why
food
is
and
it
how are
bad?
you
Right.
like, and let's be real, like okay, cookies. Like we'll just say people have considered cookies a bad food. But like I have a lot of memories of baking these cookies with my grandma, which brings a lot of emotion and puts me into the kitchen and like brings up all these positive memories and all of this other stuff. Like there is a lot of positive to having that feeling when you're doing stuff. It releases a lot of good like oxytocin and all that other stuff that's good for you. So like it's okay to have that stuff. Like
Right.
actually you probably should. I'm not saying I bake those cookies every day, like, but at Christmas I surely bake them and I surely eat them and make rolls and stick them in the freezer so I can pull them out later.
And like the other thing to think about, like the piggy in the closet or in the fridge or whatever, is we want to kind of unpack that behavior a little bit more. So if you find yourself always in the refrigerator, always in the pantry after meals, like what's the composition of that last meal? Right? Did you have enough protein at that last meal? Did you eat enough at that last meal? Right? Did you fill up enough? Did you have fibrous material at that meal that helps kind of fill and expand your stomach, which sends signals to our brain that we're full? Right? Or did you barely eat anything for dinner? Have you not had anything to eat all day? I think starting to unpack all of the things that come before it and what's potentially driving this behavior, right? Am I bored? right? Am I just bored and like I get up, or did I create a routine where it's like, hey, every time I sit down to watch TV in the evening, I go make a thing of popcorn, right? And it's just like almost on like autopilot at this point. And
Well,
so
I
I
will say out of all the snacks that you could be eating, popcorn might actually be one of the best ones.
just because of its like lower caloric density.
You can eat a lot of popcorn for like the calories, plus it has
Let's
a good
see.
amount of fiber in it.
I'd be curious. Like like what would someone eat in a sitting? Probably 3 cups of popped
I want to say 2 cups is a serving, but I mean, I could be
popcorn
wrong.
calories. I don't know. 3 cups of popped popcorn. Oh, interesting.
Okay.
3 cups of air popped popcorn without added butter, salt, or oil contains 95 calories,
Okay. And give me the fiber count on it.
3.6 grams.
That's a pretty good amount of fiber.
Not terrible.
I mean, if you've done good all day, you're getting like 3.5 more grams. If you've already hit 20 for your day because you ate fruits and vegetables at every meal, that's a pretty kicking little snack to get you closer to 25. Like, I mean,
it's about 100 calories. 100
but
calories.
it's also
3
to me
cups of
like,
popped is like a decent amount. Like it doesn't feel like just like a little.
yeah, but you can pre-pop it in a great road trip snack. I mean, crap, salt isn't going to cost you anything. You could just salt your popcorn, call it a good day.
Mhm.
You can put the chili mango element on it and make it a little sweet, a little spicy.
I never thought about that.
You
Interesting.
do a lot of stuff with it. I mean, you could put the chocolate on it. I wonder if it'd make it like chocolatey popcorn.
Yeah, I think that'd be weird.
I'm sure people like the caramel.
I don't know. And what does Just Ingredients? They have some stuff too.
They have popcorn salt. I have it. Hold on. Let me just go grab it from my pantry.
We have some too, I believe. I'm just trying to look at what they are. Popcorn salts. There you go.
All right. I have the Parmesan cheese. Just Ingredients. It is for 1 teaspoon,
15
calories.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This stuff is freaking fire. I do recommend not telling your husband to put it on because it says Parmesan cheese. He didn't check to see if it had salt, and he put it on the popcorn after he salted it.
Extra salty.
Was probably a poor decision. It was very salty. But it is. I like this stuff. The movie theater butter one I think is my client. A couple of my clients really like that one.
Yeah, it looks like that one I'm looking at right now. 15 calories. Looks like just a little bit of fat.
Well, I mean, it's butter.
Where's my ingredient list?
I should probably see how many of these I should spray in a day.
Oh, yeah, butter and non-fat dried milk are the 2 things, but 15 calories. So because it's powdered too, you don't use as much versus like when you're like have a stick of butter and then you drizzle it all over, right? So
and then not all of the pieces have enough butter on them, so then you have to go back and add more.
It's tough. It's tough. Well, I mean, so ultimately, I think some of the takeaways from this: shaming probably not the most effective way to achieve success in things that you're looking to accomplish, right? Especially if we're looking at a long-term approach. I think shaming can probably be it is effective in the short term, but there is a byproduct of it, right? That we probably aren't willing to trade off. A psychological byproduct of it. When we see that we're doing a behavior repetitively, unpacking that behavior and seeing what's leading up to it, why are we like really digging into why we are doing this behavior and what benefit are we getting if we do this behavior, right? Because we're driven by these desires, right? We're either trying to move closer to pleasure or we're moving away from pain. And so what is this behavior, moving us towards? And then unpacking that, and then also being okay with like doing things you enjoy, even if they don't necessarily fit in your everyday plan.
And I will add adding some tools to your toolbox to be successful, whether it's keeping your environment clean or buying them in individual portions to help keep yourself on track. There's a lot of stuff, and we have tools and resources to help you if you feel like that's something you need help with.
That's what coaching is. So anything else? Any other parting thoughts?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday. It's
I know.
always Wednesday when we record these.
But
Usually.
this is going to get posted today because I am going to take care of it because I know how to do it now.
You're such a great poster.
Yep. Oh, thanks. All right. Well, if you guys need us, you know where to find us.
See ya.